The Galactic Peace Coalition (GPC) had known no war for a millennium. Formed by a council of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, it was a beacon of diplomacy, technology, and coexistence. Disputes were solved with simulations, artificial intelligence, and reasoned debate, leaving the barbaric chaos of combat in the past. However, this harmony had bred a dangerous vulnerability. The Veil Swarm came from the void, an amorphous, black tide that consumed entire star systems without negotiation or mercy. It had no demands, no terms, no communication. It simply consumed. Archon Thazril, the youngest member of the Coalition Council, sat in the great circular chamber, his scaled fingers drumming nervously against the glass table. Around him, leaders of 15 species projected holographic forms, their expressions ranging from weary to terrified. The council chamber echoed with heated debate, voices raised in panic. "We've lost the Arxis system," Thazril announced, silencing the room. His orange eyes glinted with suppressed frustration. "The swarm is 3 jumps from the core worlds. If we fail to act, our civilization will fall." "This enemy defies logic," protested Ambassador Zanel, a crystalline being whose voice reverberated like a chime. "No strategy has worked. Our fleets are overwhelmed. Even our most advanced AIs fail to counter their movements." "We should consider negotiation," said another, a serpentine diplomat whose words dripped with fear. "There is no negotiation," Thazril snapped. This is not an enemy we can reason with. We need a weapon. Something unpredictable." His voice softened. "Something we buried long ago." The chamber fell silent. No one wanted to say it, but the weight of his words hung in the air. Humanity. The exiled species. The Coalition's greatest shame. Centuries earlier, humans had been valued members of the GPC. Their ingenuity and resilience had made them invaluable allies, but those same traits had also made them dangerous. A series of brutal conflicts, escalated by humanity's aggressive tendencies, had brought the galaxy to the brink of destruction. The Council had deemed them too volatile, too unpredictable. The solution had been drastic but unanimous: exile. Under Project Arkstone, humanity was forced onto a barren, isolated planet in the galaxy's farthest reaches, cut off from all communication. They were never to be disturbed. But now, facing the annihilation of everything they had built, the Council was out of options. "This is madness," Zanel hissed. "We exiled them for a reason. They are chaos incarnate. And what choice do we have?" Thazril countered. "The Veil Swarm adapts to everything we throw at it. Our simulations show we'll lose the core worlds within 3 standard cycles. You've all seen the data. If anyone has a better suggestion, speak now." The room remained silent. Finally, Elder Karan, the oldest member of the council, spoke. His voice, deep and resonant, carried the weight of centuries. "If we are to break Arkstone, we must understand what we're unleashing. The humans will not be our allies out of loyalty or forgiveness. They will demand a price. Are we willing to pay it?" Thazril nodded. "If we do nothing, there won't be anyone left to pay." With reluctant murmurs, the council voted. The decision was made. The scout ship, Ecliptica, departed from Coalition space 2 days later. Its crew of 6, representing 4 species, carried with them the burden of the galaxy's survival. Captain Yelva, a stoic amphibian-like being with silver eyes, watched as their ship approached the uncharted sector marked Arkstone Exile Zone. The region was surrounded by an automated warning field, ancient technology humanity itself had designed as a deterrent. Entering the exclusion zone, Yelva said, her voice calm but tense. "I suggest we proceed with caution." The warning field was inactive, but what lay beyond it was far from dormant. As the Ecliptica crossed the boundary, the crew was greeted by an imposing sight: a planet encased in an artificial web of orbital defenses. Gigantic automated cannons tracked their approach, and swarms of patrol drones buzzed like angry insects. "They've fortified the entire system," whispered Kivrex, a pale, insectoid navigator. "This isn't an exile. It's a fortress." Moments later, their ship's comms crackled to life. A human voice, sharp and commanding, filled the cabin. "Unidentified vessel, you are trespassing in restricted space. State your purpose or be destroyed." Yelva activated the response channel. "This is Captain Yelva of the Galactic Peace Coalition. We come seeking your assistance. The galaxy is in peril." There was a long silence. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Then the voice returned, colder than before. "Humanity owes the Coalition nothing. You abandoned us." "We didn't come to debate history," Yelva said firmly. The Veil swarm is consuming everything. If we fall, you'll be next. Another pause. Then, with a low hum, the orbital defenses powered down, and a flight path was transmitted to their ship. Proceed, the voice commanded. But understand this, if you lie to us, you won't leave alive. As the Ecliptica descended toward the surface, Thazril's warning echoed in Yelva's mind. They were not just awakening humanity. They were unleashing it. The Ecliptica descended through dense layers of atmosphere, approaching humanity's exile world. What should have been barren and desolate was a startling display of fortification and power. The planet's surface was a mosaic of sprawling military bases, launch silos, and colossal factories. Industry and warcraft on a scale none of the alien crew had imagined. As the landing gear engaged, Captain Yelva and her team braced for the encounter they had all dreaded. The hatch opened, and the first human they saw was unlike any they'd pictured. She wore a combat uniform with precision-cut armor, her stance both alert and relaxed, and her eyes, a steely gray, sized up each of them in an instant. "I'm General Evelyn Kale," she introduced herself curtly. "You've come a long way, but if you think we'll leap to help the coalition that exiled us, you're mistaken." Captain Yelva stepped forward, forcing her voice to remain steady. "General Kale, we're here because there's a threat unlike anything we've faced. The Veil swarm devours entire systems. Our defenses are failing. Without your help, the galaxy will fall." Evelyn's expression remained unreadable. "And you expect humanity to be your salvation? We believe your unique skills make you our last hope." The general's gaze shifted, glancing over the alien faces. "The coalition considered us dangerous, chaotic. Now you want that very chaos to save you." Her voice was edged with bitterness. "But nothing has changed for us. We've survived by our own hands, fought every day for what we've built here." She paused, studying the GPC representatives as though weighing them, deciding if they were worth saving. "If we help, there will be terms. Humanity will be reintegrated into the coalition, no more exile. And we don't just support this war, we lead it. I will not risk the lives of my people under weak leadership." Captain Yelva's composure slipped. "The coalition will never grant that authority." Evelyn smirked. "Then the coalition can face the Veil swarm alone." She began to turn away. "Wait," Yelva called, desperation lacing her words. "Wait. We'll present your demands to the council. I'll see they understand the terms." Evelyn stopped, eyeing her skeptically, but nodded. "Then you'll see what humanity has become. Follow me." The delegation was led through a massive military compound, past rows of high-powered weaponry and drilling soldiers who moved with synchronized precision. Humans here weren't just a species. They were warriors hardened by decades of isolation and survival. In the command center, Evelyn activated a hologram displaying the Veil swarm's path of destruction. A galaxy-wide map illuminated with red swaths where planets and entire systems had vanished. "We've monitored the swarm's progress for years," she said, her tone now colder, professional. "They consume and adapt to any defense thrown at them. We've devised tactics that could counter their methods, but it won't be pretty. You'll need to adjust to collateral damage." Yelva glanced at her crew, their unease palpable. Humanity's tactics were a stark contrast to the coalition's ethics, prioritizing survival over preservation. Evelyn caught Yelva's gaze. "You called us because you wanted warriors. So here we are. But make no mistake, we do things our way. And if the coalition stands in our path, it'll fall just like the swarm." The alien representatives nodded, a sense of dread settling in. They had called upon humanity as their last resort. Now they were unleashing something they could barely control. Humanity's fleet assembled in orbit above their exile world, a formidable force of sleek warships, battle drones, and troop transports bristling with weapons that outclassed anything in the coalition's arsenal. From the Ecliptica, Captain Yelva and her crew watched, equal parts awe and dread filling them as the fleet prepared to jump to the front lines. General Evelyn Kale stood in the command center, issuing precise orders. Her calm intensity, unshaken by the horror awaiting them, seemed to bolster her troops. But for the alien delegation, this display was unsettling, a clear reminder of why humanity had been exiled. Moments later, Evelyn turned to the coalition observers. "You're about to see what we've become," she said with a grim smile. "Brace yourselves." The jump brought them to the contested system of Mirova, a vast expanse of debris and burning planets. Veil swarm ships, black and shifting like liquid metal, blotted out the stars, spreading as a pulsing mass across the void. Coalition forces, outmatched and disorganized, had already begun a chaotic retreat, their defensive formations shattered. Evelyn wasted no time. "Initiate Protocol Delta," she ordered. With chilling precision, humanity's fleet launched an offensive unlike anything the Coalition had seen. Swarms of drone fighters burst forward, weaving through the chaos with calculated ferocity, their plasma weapons igniting the dark skies. Human warships deployed explosive charges that fractured the swarm's advancing front, while ground forces landed on abandoned planets, setting up bombardment stations that rained hellfire on the enemy. The Coalition envoys, watching the devastation unfold, were appalled. They had come from a society that minimized violence at all costs, but here the humans fought with brutal efficiency, embracing the chaos. This is unthinkable," whispered Kivrex, the insectoid navigator. "The destruction." Captain Yelva swallowed, shaken. "But it's working." Indeed, the swarm reeled under the assault, taken aback by humanity's relentless and adaptive tactics. Human forces constantly shifted, evolving their approach faster than the swarm could counter. Where the Coalition had tried to contain and hold ground, humanity was dismantling the enemy with sheer audacity. Yet the Veil swarm was not mindless. Within minutes, it adapted, thickening its forces in response and launching tendrils of dark energy toward the human ships. Entire squads of drones were obliterated, and several human ships buckled under the weight of the swarm's counterattack. Evelyn's voice crackled over the command frequency, issuing rapid adjustments, rallying her forces without missing a beat. The cost was high, too high for the Coalition's comfort. But Evelyn pressed on, undeterred. "All units, regroup on coordinates Bravo 9. Prepare for overload protocol." The final maneuver was daring and ruthless. Human ships overloaded their reactors, detonating near the densest parts of the swarm. The shockwave shattered enemy formations, crippling a portion of the swarm's advance. When the dust settled, Mirova's system was scarred and silent. Humanity had held the line, but at great cost. Dozens of ships lost, thousands of lives sacrificed. In the quiet aftermath, Evelyn's message rang through the comms, cold and unyielding. "This is only the beginning. We won today because we did what was necessary. If the Coalition isn't ready to fight like this, then stay out of our way." The Coalition envoys exchanged glances, shaken. They had turned to humanity as their last hope, and now they understood the grim price of unleashing the humans. The command room aboard the human flagship Erebus was alive with tension as General Evelyn Kale reviewed the latest intelligence. Holographic displays illuminated a grim reality. The Veil swarm had adapted to humanity's tactics faster than anticipated. The decisive victory at Mirova had slowed the enemy, but only temporarily. Now the swarm was regathering, preparing to strike back with overwhelming force. "We're running out of time," Evelyn said, addressing her senior officers and the Coalition envoys. "The swarm's next move will target the Helios system, a key route to the core worlds. If they take it, the Coalition falls, and so do we." Archon Thazrael stepped forward, his reptilian face tight with concern. "What do you propose, General? Another battle like Mirova would bleed us dry?" Evelyn's gaze was steely. "No. This time we end it permanently." She activated the central display, which zoomed in on a massive black hole near the Helios system. "This is Singularity 47. We lure the swarm here, using bait ships to mimic high-value targets. Once the swarm is within range, we detonate gravitational charges, forcing the black hole to expand and swallow the entire fleet." The room fell silent. Captain Yelva was the first to speak. "That's monstrous. The collateral damage would destroy nearby planets. Billions of lives could be lost." "It's the only way," Evelyn said firmly. "We've studied the swarm. They're not just consuming, they're evolving, incorporating the genetic and technological traits of everything they devour. If we don't stop them now, there won't be any lives left to protect." The Coalition envoys erupted into debate. Some, like Thazrael, recognized the grim necessity of Evelyn's plan. Others balked at the scale of destruction it would cause. "Enough," Evelyn interrupted, her voice cutting through the chaos. "This isn't a debate. You called us because we do what you can't. If you don't have the stomach for it, step aside. Humanity will finish this war, with or without you." The plan was set in motion. Human and Coalition fleets worked together, deploying decoy ships loaded with signal amplifiers to draw the swarm toward Singularity 47. The bait worked. As the Veil swarm surged after the false fleet, humanity's forces flanked them, driving them into the gravity well. The final battle was a maelstrom of fire and chaos. The swarm fought viciously, sensing the trap, and losses mounted on both sides. Coalition ships, unused to the brutal tactics, hesitated, only to be overridden by Evelyn's commands. Humanity's forces pushed forward with unrelenting determination, sacrificing ships and lives to hold the swarm in place. At the climax, the gravitational charges detonated, triggering a catastrophic collapse of the black hole. The swarm, caught in the event horizon, disintegrated as its hive ships were pulled into oblivion. The battlefield fell silent. Victory came at a staggering cost: thousands dead, fleets decimated, and the nearby systems irrevocably scarred. Evelyn stood amidst the wreckage, watching as the survivors regrouped. Back on the Erebus, Evelyn addressed the coalition envoys. "You asked us to fight your war and we did. But understand this, survival always has a price. Humanity paid it because we had no choice. If you want to build a galaxy worth saving, start by learning what it takes to protect it." Archon Thazrael nodded solemnly. "The coalition owes humanity a debt we can never repay. But I hope we've also learned that peace without strength is just an illusion." As the Erebus turned for home, Evelyn gazed out at the endless stars. Humanity had been unleashed, and though the galaxy had survived, she knew it would never see them the same way again.